So I will introduce you to the concepts of the Course in Miracles that we are reading and reflecting for a long time. And usually I talk at the beginning, and then we open for discussion, sharing, and then we end with a meditation as well. So the Course in Miracles is a practical tool for self-transformation. It helps us to release the ego thought system and become one with divine source. It uses a Christian language, but the concepts of the Course in Miracles are universal. So you can find all the spiritual concepts in all other religions because basically it's all the same. The language changes. We will use the Holy Spirit a lot, but the Holy Spirit is your higher self. The Holy Spirit is your connection with the source. It's your divine intelligence. And if you don't like to use the Holy Spirit, you can use a spirit. You can use higher self. Okay? We are on chapter 14. So usually we stay one chapter per month and we discuss these concepts. And then I read some passages and we go with the flow. So I want to read this because that's actually one of the main important things of the Course in Miracles. You taught yourself the most unnatural habit of not communicating with your Creator. We now need to retrain our minds to have connection with the source, to have connection with the light, because the ego thought system became so complex. It's unnatural to us to have connection with the source, to have vision, to receive guidance. So the Course in Miracles is teaching us how to go back to our natural habit, to show what is natural to us and what is actually our natural inheritance. Our natural inheritance is direct communication with God, with divine, with creation, with whatever you want to call universal truth, cosmic truth. And because we live in a world that also deceives us, so on the chapter 14, he's saying that nothing of this world can lead you to truth. And nothing of this world can bring us happiness. Nothing of the world can lead us to the natural way of direct communication with God, of direct communication with the source. I was actually reading the I Ching this week, and then I was reading the chapter that is called The Receptive. So the I Ching is also ancient wisdom, ancient philosophy, is an oracle that is really beautiful. And there is one of my favorite chapters that is The Receptive. So it's really similar to A Course in Miracles, because A Course in Miracles is actually constantly asking that we ask for guidance. So on the chapter, The Receptive, he says, we need to develop the daily habit of asking for the help and guidance of the sage, our cosmic teacher. And what is the way of the ego? The way of the ego is, I want to do it myself. This is my private project. This is my life. I need to take responsibility for everything. And the Course in Miracles is saying, no, it's a share, it's joint. Once you learn to co-create with creation, whatever you want to call, God, things will flow in your life much better. Things will unfold in a way that is miraculous. It's not forcing. It doesn't look as a sacrifice. It's not painful. Actually, it's joyful. That's the way of union, of the way of atonement. That is the way of joy. Is the way that you have happiness and comfort and harmony. Then there is another passage that he says, each day, each hour and minute, and even each second, you are deciding between the crucifixion and the resurrection. What does it mean? Each minute, you have the power of choice. You can either join the ego or join God or join the Holy Spirit or join Spirit. Crucifixion is sacrifice. When you join the ego, you are crucifying yourself. Everything is difficult. Things are a problem, is a drama. You lack energy to do things because you are crucifying yourself or you are crucifying others. Every time you join the ego, you are attacking yourself or you're attacking others. That's the way of the ego. When you join the resurrection, resurrection is miracle. Resurrection is overcoming the word. It's transcendence. It's transcending the word of appearances, the word of limitation. And resurrection is basically forgiveness as well. And we will talk about forgiveness a lot during the sessions, because it's through the resurrection that we attain this union. Because when Jesus was, when he was being crucified, he actually forgave everyone. And then the resurrection means that we are a spirit, we are not a body. So when we are joining the ego, we are really, really, really attached to the body and all the things that surround the body. When you join divine intelligence, when you join the cosmic truth, you are aware that you are a spirit. And that makes a really difference in your daily life. And that's the beauty of the Course in Miracles, because spiritual path is not just when you sit to do your meditation or your yoga, or when you go to the church, or when you come to the group. Spirituality is a choice that you do every second. Is this what he's saying? Each day, each hour, and minute, even each second you are deciding. It is a constant self-awareness. What are you deciding? Are you deciding to buy the illusion, or you're deciding to join truth, your eternal self, to understand that you are a divine being and eternal? And then the story that I wanted to share is that I'm in shock now, because when I came, I'm in a ranch in New Mexico. And then I planned to do some work here because I needed to concentrate. And once I did my first meeting at the beginning of the week, no video conference, no Zoom calls, it's weak connection. And then I freak out, but I really freak out because I had a lot of meetings during the week. And then I went to sleep and my heart was beating fast. I'm like, gosh, it's gonna be a total mess. And then I was meditating, doing my self-hypnosis, and I had a mystical experience. I saw a giant being at my door that for me is the Holy Spirit, and he told me, let me handle this. And basically that's what we are learning here. And I started crying, and I could not stop crying. And I felt the confidence, but for sure during the week the ego comes, and so all my meetings could not be through the video. And today I'm doing a video call for the first time. It wasn't working. I had to ask my clients, I'm so sorry, I give you this for free, but we cannot do video call. And today we are doing video call. So then he said, let me handle that. And then he said, and do it only because you are happy doing it. And that's it. I started crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had this mystical experience. I felt the confidence, but the ego came, and most of the time during my week, I was a little anxious and feeling guilty and attacking myself or attacking the situation. And he said on Monday, because sometimes people do a hypnosis, a meditation, oh, there came this being or came this animal and gave me a message. Is this real? Is this a spirit? It doesn't matter. How did you feel? Did you feel something in your heart? It resonates with you. It helps in your path. That's the most important. So that was really beautiful, and it truly touched my heart, but it's hard to trust. And I spent my whole week in this guilt. And chapter 14 is about being guiltless. Being guiltless. How difficult it is. Yet you are whole only in your guiltlessness, and only in your guiltlessness can you be happy. And we are constantly feeling guilty because we are thinking that we are not good enough, that we are doing a mistake, that something is wrong with us, and etc. And it's heavy. And the Course in Miracles is saying that the path of joy is the path of guiltlessness. And how can we choose this path? We choose this path by surrendering, by trusting. And I think I had a lesson this week. Because in fact, I didn't trust. I didn't trust that would work. Well, I had a vision that it would work, and I received the message. It's gonna work. Let me handle. A giant being told me that. I was crying. And then I want to read for you the lesson. That was the lesson of my morning after this mystical experience. And that was shocking. So I want to read for you. So for those who are new here, A Course in Miracles has 360 lessons. So you do one meditation a day. You do one lesson a day. You read the lesson of the day and you meditate on that. Okay, usually it's on 1 page or half page. Here we call a lesson, but basically I meditate on the theme, the main theme of the lesson for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You can do in the evening time, you can do in the morning. So the lesson 353 is: my eyes, my tongue, my hands, my feet today have but one purpose: to be giving Christ to use to bless the world with miracles. And then the little prayer: Father, I give all that is mine today to Christ to use in any way that best will serve the purpose that I share with him. Nothing is mine alone, for he and I have joined in purpose. Thus has learning come almost to its appointed end. A while I work with him to serve his purpose, then I lose myself in my identity and recognize that Christ is but myself. So what he's saying here, there is nothing mine alone. There's not my business, my project, my meeting, my company, my master's degree. This doesn't exist. This is just creation of the word. Because what we have to do is to use what we are doing to be one with this Christ consciousness. That is yourself. And work together, working in cooperation. So why we struggle so much is because we try to do things by ourselves. And it's too heavy and difficult to do alone. Isolation is when you think that you are doing things by yourself, that you have a private life, that you have a private mind. Private mind is of the ego. Joint mind is of the soul, of the spirit. And your job is to release this identity that you have, right? Your name, your career, your age, where you were born. Release that and come back to your true identity. That is Christ consciousness, that is higher self, that is a giant being. And I like this image because basically this giant being is your higher self, is your true self. Nothing else but your true self. That is powerful, that can trust, that can make things happen, that can work miracles. And when I call you miracles, is that we are all miracle workers, because it doesn't matter what you do, you are using what you do to help people, to enlighten people. So you are just a vessel for this light. You are not doing things alone. And then the way of undoing this path of isolation is asking for guidance, asking constantly for guidance. On chapter 14, he says, say to the Holy Spirit only, decide for me and it's done. So say to Spirit, decide for me. I surrender this situation to you. Can you help me? Do you have any message? Do you have any consideration? And things will come to you, but you need to be open to receive through dreams, through people, through books. You will receive message and information. You just need to honor when you receive, and that's the other thing, because the spirit is constantly sending you message, but what happens is that we do not honor what we receive. We deny. Exactly what happened with me. I had this a beautiful mystical experience. It lasted, the crying, the beauty lasted 5 minutes. Then after that, it's like boom, 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 trying to fix, trying to control, worrying about. Life gets in the way. And why this mystical, trusting, feeling, why this cannot be the whole day like that? Why we can't live our daily lives with this sensation of like everything's gonna be great? I trust, I surrender, I receive message from the spirit, and he's guiding me. But that's the way of a student of A Course in Miracles. That's the real student. He is in bliss, in joy, and he's following guidance, constantly following, constantly seeing visions. And Course in Miracles is all about vision. You choose to have vision rather than perception. Perception is of the ego. Knowledge is of the spirit. So that's what we do as a student of the Course in Miracles. We have vision, and we release the perceptions of the ego that is fearful, judgmental, and dark as well. Depression. All right, so let's open for sharing, questions, anything you would like to say.
Two things that come up to me. It's quite often I find it's a sign, but like I don't trust it. How do I know if this is real or not? I have always, many times I am like, it's for you to go in this direction, but then I'm like, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just too tired and I'm creating a way out. So I find I have a lot of doubt. And how does one know when it's a true sign?
I used to do that a lot. Personally, when I was younger, like when I was a teenager, I used to whenever I would have a sign, I would literally think it was fake or that it was made up. I'm like, there is no way this is real. I'm just going to ignore it. It's fine. And as I got older and more so into my 20s is when I was finally like, wait, no, this is actually legit, because it keeps repeating all the time.
You can ask for confirmations. For example, there is an exercise that you can do that is, you have a question and then you ask for 3 signs, 3 confirmations about this question. Basically, what the Course in Miracles says is that you know that is real when it brings you peace. Look what he says on chapter 14. Simplicity is very difficult for twisted minds. Simplicity is very difficult. So the way of the spirit is really simple and brings this joy and peace. The ego is complicated and complex, and things need to be in a certain way. So that's why we read this book. That's why we meditate, because we are undoing this complexity of the ego, so we can be more simple and we can receive these simple lessons of the spirit to guide us. And trusting that doesn't need to be a sacrifice. You don't need to crucify yourself. And it's a daily habit, right? Because if you just ask for guidance once a week, it's going to be more difficult to trust. But if your life is to be connected with the source, then it becomes more easy, right? And again, nothing of this world can bring you joy or happiness in an eternal way. It can bring you temporary happiness, right, or temporary joy. But the true joy, the true joy, is spiritual joy. It's connection with your soul. To do that, you need to be willing to undo the ego thought system. Well, but the Course in Miracles says you can have a happy dream. It doesn't mean that, because what we are living is a dream, is an illusion of this body, this shirt, everything. But you can still have joy and enjoy this life. It doesn't mean that because this is not real, is an illusion, is a dream, that you should not be happy or joyful, and you can enjoy things. So you can work on that as well to have a happy dream, but that's not the main destination. So in hypnosis, while we try to achieve goals, short-term goals, I think it is really important. For me, I can lose focus really quickly. I can be in my mind a lot and not get things done. So it helps me a lot to focus and get things done. But the root, the depth of our purpose is, I see here in the Course in Miracles. Because he's saying that we share the same purpose. We share the same purpose, that is to be one with divine and use our bodies to be a vessel. So it's deep and beautiful, right? Is there any question, or we will finish with a meditation? I would like to ask if you have any question, any other comment. Again, if you just came today and never read A Course in Miracles, I mean, the Course in Miracles is constantly saying the same thing over and over again, different ways sometimes. So these concepts are not foreigner concepts. They are concepts that you already heard, that you already know. You might practice a little bit, sometimes a lot, sometimes not much. It's not new. It's a little different, and it's necessary to inner peace. For me, it's necessary to understand and apply these concepts. So Buddha said that there are 34,000 doors to enlightenment. These 34,000 doors are teachings that help us to achieve enlightenment. Can be yoga, can be pain. I don't know, 34,000. There are many, right? So I'm not saying that Course in Miracles is the only thing that is going to bring enlightenment. No. I'm saying that's what I found to be really profound and connected. I connect, but it's not the only thing. I also do other things. But it's a really good and practical way to understand this concept and to be more aware. What I like about the Course in Miracles is that you don't need the rituals. You don't need you don't need all the things that sometimes we think we need to be spiritual. You just need a shifting perception. You just need to choose if you are joining the ego or if you are joining spirit. And that's you start to have this awareness if you start doing the lessons, the daily lessons, and for sure going to groups and watching things related to that. So it's just a shifting perception. All right. So next meeting we will do the regular meeting, Zoom meeting video. We will keep studying the chapter 14, and has an assignment from this group today. I would say for you to just do exactly what chapter 14 is saying. Just guide me, please lead me. There is some prayers on chapter 14 that I would recommend for you to read, and decide for me. Just decide for me. Tell me in meditation. Ask Spirit, what is the best path? What is the best way to go? All right, so let's finish with a meditation. Close your eyes, sit with your back straight. Take a long and deep breath. Relax your mouth, your jaw. And now remember one phrase or one sentence that really resonated with you today. Write down the sentence or this phrase or this idea that you had and bring to your meditation, bring to your decision making. Honor it. Honor inner guidance. Honor your intuition, your inner teacher. We are here to basically become available to listen to our inner teacher, our higher self, our higher wisdom, our eternal soul. And now visualize yourself having a blessed day with synchronicities, serendipities, things flowing really well, miracles happening, beautiful encounters. And as you see this vision, you become grateful and you honor it. And now just imagine a person or a group of people that you want to send some blessings and just share with them in consciousness your gratitude, your love for them. And slowly you can open your eyes, bringing with yourself the sense of peace, freedom, and love.